Hola amigos. So I wanted to just talk to you guys about my lesson today. And I know for a lot of teachers, things were just really tense, right? And I know that different school districts allow for different things. Thankfully, my school district and my school encourage us to create space for students. Sometimes I am just like, I don't know what to say. So when things have happened in the past, I tend to just kind of give students some type of writing prompt because I just don't even know what I think and I don't know how to engage them. And it's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And, now that everything is virtual, I don't want to say something that later is like captured and it's like, oh, this response wasn't appropriate. So there are just like there's so many more factors to really, talking to students and providing them with space because you want to provide them with space, but then you have to also remember too that like you're the teacher, and if you're teaching virtually, like everything you say is just like on display. So I don't know if you all feel like that, but I definitely feel like that, and I just think twice about things that I'm going to say. Even today, right before, so I had 3 classes, my level 4 class in Spanish, and one of the students asked me, I gave them a survey today, and one of the students asked how I was doing. And I think I know who the student is because the student is like, just like, I think the student has older parents. Because when I used to teach in the middle school, the students with older parents, they were like, just very mature in their interactions with other adults. Like I had a kid who would always tell me, he's like, oh, that's a nice shawl you have on today. And the other kids, they're just like, I don't know, they're like regular middle schoolers. So this kid was like, hey, how are you doing? So when I responded in the chat, I was like, oh, I'm doing fine, thank you so much for asking. And I was gonna say something more that I didn't really think it was inappropriate, but I just had to like step back. I forgot what it was. I think I said something like, I'm not going to let this foolery, destroy, get me down or destroy my day. Like, life goes on, moving on or whatever. But I didn't want to come across as insensitive. And like, the fact of the matter is that like, I'm much older than them. So for them living through this, they're just like, oh my gosh, like this is like the first time, like this is something they could not have probably anticipated or imagined. But for me, I'm like, people have been doing crazy stuff like this forever. And I'm just always like, I'm not going to let that dominate my day. And so I ended up just not making the comment again because I was just thinking about the context, thinking about my students. But one of the things that I wanted to just highlight is just the importance of kind of getting out of your comfort zone. And so one of my goals for the new year is I wrote down to do the hard things. And so this was a hard thing for me. And what I did that was different, normally I just give them like a writing prompt, and I do allow them some space to talk, but I never really feel like I want to share because I don't know like even how to start sometimes. And so today I just went with authenticity, and I was like, I'm just going to be really honest. And I told them, I said, hey, I normally don't like to talk about these things, with students. I normally talk about these things like with my family and my friends, but I just don't really know how to approach it. So I was really kind of real, and I just labeled it and put it out there. And I shared with them sort of like my day yesterday and how like after school I just had all these plans, and when I started watching the news, how it just kind of came like in waves. It was like, oh, this is like a protest. Oh, this protest is kind of getting out of control. Like, oh wow, this isn't a protest. This is actually, seditious. I mean, it just was kind of like kept like upgrading. And so I just shared that with them, and just my initial shock and just a lot of other things. And it wasn't long, but I just wanted to acknowledge and kind of like step out there myself, because it's like, if I'm going to ask them to talk about it, I should be comfortable talking about it. And, but that was number one. I did give them a survey today, and the survey was just simple, had like 4 questions. One was, how do you feel? So I just told them one word, how they felt. Number 2, I asked them if they talked about this with other people, had they processed with family members and friends, or even in other classes. And most of them had actually processed. And I asked them if they wanted to talk about it, and most of them said they did not want to talk about it, and they preferred to just, have like a 10-minute process break. So I gave them, I put a writing prompt on Google Classroom, and I told them it was optional, and I just kind of started off like, well, what did you see? How did it make you feel? And I forgot what the third question was, but if somebody wants to see it, just for future activities, right? For future events like this, I should probably do a post. But yeah, and that was it. And then I had 2 activities that I wanted them to do today. So I asked them, I said, they had 3 options. So number 1, they could do both activities if they wanted to. And then the second option was they can do one activity today, and then I can create time next week for them to do the second activity. And then the third option was they can do the activity for homework and then do the second part on Monday. And most students wanted to do the first activity during class, so I gave them time to do that. And then there was maybe, I want to say 10% of my students said that they wanted to do it for homework, and then they would do the second part. And let me just say, like, the activity would take 10 minutes. It's like just talk 5 things about what you did over break and add like a little bit of clip art. And I had given them time last class to start. So just so you know, I'm not that teacher that's like, we had a tragedy yesterday, but hey, you're going to get homework. But I did learn a lot. I learned a lot about asking them, for just for input. And I got the sweetest comments back. Like, I mean, I was actually shocked. Like, I got one student was like, how are you doing? And I hope you're taking care of yourself. And then other students were like, just thank you for student voice, and thank you for checking in with us. I really appreciate that. And I was just blown away because, again, I'm like, this, I was kind of debating whether I wanted to do this or not, or if I just wanted to give them some writing thing and just carry on. But I fought that. I came out of my comfort zone, and I'm just really glad that I got a chance to connect with them like this. So I just wanted to put it out there. I did a video yesterday. For some reason, it didn't post, and I had to erase everything just about my take on all the things that were going on. But and if you want to see the video, I can put it back up. Just respond here, let me know. Otherwise, be safe and have a great day.